evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together and welcome all the way from San Diego, California, 98-pounder recording artist, Mr. Stephen Joseph Joshua Poltz. Yeah. I'm not easily scared by things that go bump in the night.
I was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and then moved to Palm Springs, California, in the desert, and then to San Diego. Been playing guitar since I was about 6, so now I'm about 16, so about 10 years. My uncle took me to the Hollywood Bowl to see this classical guitarist named Julian Bream, and he was really cool and loved him, but it was classical guitar, and they said I could learn the banjo or the classical guitar. I don't know why they only picked those two things, but they did. So I learned classical guitar because I think they sort of coerced me into it psychologically by bringing me to see Julian Bream. And this guy was amazing, so I said, I want to learn classical guitar. So I learned how to fingerpick and just loved it. And first guitar teacher came over, and he was an old guy, and he had a wooden leg and a glass eye, and he smelled like mothballs. I mean, this is absolute truth. And he spoke real slowly, like everything he said was slow. And I wanted to rock. I wanted to play Elvis Presley, but he made me learn how to read music. It was pretty cool. I always played, and I played classical guitar pieces, and then I learned other people's songs, and I was an altar boy in the Catholic Church, so then when you get to be a certain age, they don't let you be an altar boy anymore. You look kind of creepy, so that you either move to just being a paper boy or join the football team. But I joined the church choir, so I started learning different songs, and then I just kept learning different songs by the Beatles. I love the Beatles, and then around the age of 20, I started writing songs. It took me a while. For me, I write most of my songs in the morning, like right when I wake up. I wake up and I usually have a guitar by the bed, and I'll think of a story, and then the music just comes out of me. The songs I like best are the ones that don't take a lot of effort. They just sort of come to me, and I think a lot of it is just about being honest. And the more I'm honest in my writing, the more I think it translates. And when I'm not, I can kind of tell, and it doesn't fit as well. The ones that are really honest are just, it took me a while to find my own voice in writing, and I'm still trying to find it all the time, but sometimes I get on a roll and other times I'm not. It's weird how that is. I would say try to write every day if you can. Even though it's sometimes hard, you won't come up with anything, but it's like a muscle and you've got to exercise it. And if you don't, it will just atrophy and it won't be used. And so I tell my dad this too, he writes poetry. I said, just write about anything. Write about the pack of gum you got today. Write this most inane, stupid song you've ever written. And then a lot of times that's the bridge that leads to one of those songs that you'll love. Because I've written a lot of silly songs. Then the next day I'll write something that I'll always play for the rest of my life. I love Southern Utah. What I like about it is I live in Southern California, and it's so crowded. And it's beautiful where I live. I live in San Diego, and I live on the ocean in La Jolla. It's gorgeous, but there's traffic everywhere. And I like the ocean, and I'm drawn to it, but there's something about the energy. I drive up the 15 and then through Vegas. I gotta get by Vegas. I can't wait to get out of that town. And once I get to northern Nevada, right before I cross into Arizona, I'm always just brimming with energy. It's the weirdest thing. It goes through my body. I start seeing the rocks, the formations, and then driving through the gorge, and then coming all in to Utah and the red rocks. There's a certain different kind of energy I get. And no matter how tired I am, I drove all today by myself, about 8 hours. because my drummer was puking out the side of the window because he has a touch of the flu. So I did the whole drive, and I was getting sort of weary and bleary, and then once I got into southern Utah, I got really excited. Maybe it's because I was like a stable pony, I was getting home to my destination to play. But I really believe there is something about the air, the energy, and the colors. It's so different and foreign. The people have been nice. They're like an extended family. I mean, they opened this theater, right? The Electric Theater. This is like the film Footloose. They bring music to this town, and before, people just used to drive by. You know, maybe go to Zion, hike around, but they'd be on their way to a show in Salt Lake City from Vegas, and here was this little oasis, and they bought this theater, renovated it, opened up a thrift store next door, a record store. They've created a scene. That's why I get so excited, because I can go into other towns like Austin, Texas, or San Diego, where I live, or New York City, and yeah, it's great because there's a different sort of energy there, but that scene already existed. Where else can you come into an area where they started the scene? And they bring all these bands through. That's what I get excited about it, talking about it. I mean, they restored the theater and everything. It really is. So these bands are coming through and they're playing, and it's different because I play a lot of clubs that are really dingy and smoky and stuff. And it was funny because the first time I played here, Bucky, who does a lot of the booking here, he said to me, okay, before I went on stage, he said, just remember, there's no drinking, no smoking, and no cussing. And it made me laugh so hard from the rock and roll of all the clubs I played at. So I thought that was kind of, it was sort of very cool.